This is Miss Boo.
I am a medical doctor, specifically a forensic pathologist. A few months ago, I got my first real job at a large county morgue. After years of studying and brutal hours, I finally had something stable. The work is quiet, methodical, exactly what I wanted. The morgue is in the basement of a massive hospital. Cold, sterile, stainless steel everywhere, fluorescent lights, and that constant smell of chemicals and formaldehyde. There are only 3 of us during the day: the senior examiner, myself, and the janitor. The examiner keeps to herself, we barely talk. That leaves the janitor. He's an old man, deeply wrinkled, hunched, always dragging his mop bucket down the hallway. He never speaks, just cleans, wipes tables, empties bins. I thought he was just quiet, but within a few weeks, I started noticing something. There's a viewing room where families come to say goodbye. It's the worst place in the building. People scream, collapse, beg for mistakes, pure grief. But every time the janitor went inside, something changed. The first time, it was a young man from a motorcycle accident. His mother was screaming, so loud it echoed through the hallway. The janitor stopped outside the door, went in, and within 30 seconds, the screaming stopped. Not faded, stopped. A minute later, he walked out. Then the parents came out, calm, completely calm. The mother wasn't crying. The father held her hand. They looked peaceful. You don't recover from losing your child in 2 minutes. But I saw it again and again, every single time. Families went in broken and came out relieved, like nothing had happened. I tried to listen once. All I heard was whispering, not English, something harsh, rhythmic. Whatever he was doing, it erased their grief. I asked the senior examiner. She didn't even look up, said he had a gift, and told me to leave it alone. Then there was the rule. No one stays past 6, except him. I tested it once, stayed late. At exactly 6, my door opened. He stood there, staring at me. "It is time for you to go." I told him I needed more time. He walked in, unplugged my computer, and erased everything. I was about to argue, but something in his face stopped me. "The work is done. You leave now." And I left. But I couldn't ignore it anymore. 3 days ago, I stayed, hid in a storage room. 6 passed. Everything went silent. Then I heard it, metal, clanking, from cold storage. I went to the door. It was open, just slightly. I listened. Wet, tearing sounds, chewing. Someone was eating. I looked inside. The room was dim, one drawer open. The body of a young woman inside, and the janitor standing over her. His hands buried inside her chest. No tools, no incision. He had torn her open. He pulled something out, her liver. He raised it, and his jaw dropped too wide. Not human. Black, jagged teeth. He bit into it. The sound was wet, loud. I almost threw up. I stepped back and knocked something over. The sound echoed. The chewing stopped. "Who is there?" I ran. I sprinted down the hallway. Behind me, the door slammed open. Then footsteps, fast, too fast, nails scraping the floor. I hid under a table in the autopsy room. He walked in, covered in blood, taller, wrong. "You did not leave. You broke the rule." I tried to move. A hand grabbed me. He lifted me, threw me across the room. I hit the floor. He stood over me. Black eyes, no whites, blood dripping from his chin. "Do you know what I am, doctor?" I shook my head. "I am a ghoul. I consume the flesh of the dead." He told me everything. We gather the bodies for him, clean, organized. He takes the liver. No one notices. And the families, I take their grief. I swallow it and leave them with peace. A transaction. Then he looked at me. "You broke the rule." I begged, told him I understood, that I'd stay quiet. He stared at me, then leaned close to my ear. "If you tell anyone, I will come to your home and eat you while your heart is still beating." I nodded. He let me go. Go home, doctor. The work is done. I haven't gone back for 3 days, but I have to go tomorrow. If I run, he'll come for me. I'm a doctor. I'm supposed to protect the living, but to survive, I have to feed the dead to a monster. And I will never, ever stay past 6 again.
If you ever hear something tapping through your wall at exactly the same time every night, and it always stops at the same number, don't count it. I did, and now I think something knows I'm listening. I need to know if anyone else has ever experienced something counting for them through a wall, because I'm starting to realize this might not be in my head anymore. This is a throwaway account. My wife doesn't know I'm posting this, and I'll probably delete it later, but I need to get this out somewhere. We've been in this house since September. It's a narrow 3-story row house with shared walls on both sides. On the left, there's a nice older couple who welcomed us with banana bread when we moved in, and on the right side, there's the house I'm writing about. It has been empty the entire time we've lived here, and from what I can tell, it was empty for quite a while before that. The first thing I noticed was the curtain. It hasn't moved in 7 months. I mean, the exact same fold, the same slant every single day. Wind doesn't touch it, weather doesn't touch it, nothing changes. I've walked past that window hundreds of times, and it always looks exactly the same. My wife said maybe it's weighted. Sure, maybe. The second thing was our dog. We have a lab. She loves everyone. She'd probably greet a burglar like a friend. But one day in November, I was walking her, and she stopped in front of that house and dropped flat to the ground. Not sitting, not hesitating, just flat, belly pressed to the concrete, ears back, completely still. I tried to pull her and she wouldn't move. I had to pick her up and carry her past it, and once we were past the house, she wriggled out and acted completely normal. Now she crosses the street every single time. She refuses to walk past that house. The vet said maybe it's a smell, something dead in the walls. I don't think it's a smell. The third thing is when I stopped sleeping. In January, I started waking up every night at around 4 in the morning for no reason. Just awake, eyes open, heart already racing. After a couple of weeks of this, I started hearing something. At first, I thought it was the radiator, but this was different. It was too regular, like someone tapping on wood. It only happens when I'm downstairs in the kitchen, which shares a wall with that house. One night, I started counting it without thinking. It stopped at 135 taps. The next night, I counted again. Same number, same timing, same spacing, starting around 4 o'clock and ending around 4:09. I have over 20 entries in my phone. Every single one is exactly 135. I tried recording it 3 different times, but when I play it back, there's nothing there. You can hear the fridge, the furnace, my breathing, but not the tapping. In the room, it's clear as anything. I asked the neighbor on the other side if he ever hears anything weird at night, and he told me that house has been quiet for years. So last weekend, I went over there. I didn't really have a plan. I just walked up and looked through the mail slot. There was no mail on the floor, no dust, nothing that suggested it had been abandoned. There was a rug, a small table, and a coat hanging on a hook like someone was going to come back for it. The doorknob wasn't dusty either. When I got back home, I checked the property records, and the last owner died in 2019. No heirs claimed the property. It's been in probate for years, but someone is clearly taking care of it. Then last night happened. My daughter came into our bed around 2 a.m. after a bad dream and fell asleep between us. Around 3:55, I felt her sit up. I asked if she was okay, but she didn't answer. She was just staring at the door. It was slightly open, the hallway light coming through. Then, at exactly 4 o'clock, the tapping started again, right on time. She started whispering, and at first I couldn't hear what she was saying, so I leaned closer. She was counting 31, 32, 33, perfectly in sync with the tapping. I grabbed her and asked what she was doing, and she looked at me and said, "I always count with him so he knows I'm listening." I asked how long she's been doing that, and she said, "Since my old room. We moved in September. That was a different house." I asked if he was here right now, and she thought about it for a second and said, "No, he's next door. He can't come in unless someone opens the door for him." I asked if she ever did, and she said, "Not yet." This morning she acted completely normal and said she didn't remember anything, but I went through her drawings later and found the same figure in several of them. A tall, black shape with no face, and in one drawing, it was holding hands with a smaller figure with her hair color. On the back of that drawing, she wrote a number, 135.
Right now, it's 1 a.m., and I'm sitting in the kitchen on the side of the house that shares a wall with them, and I can hear something through the wall. Not the tapping, something else. Slow movement. A step, then a pause, then another step, like someone walking around with no reason to hurry. My daughter's room is on this wall. Her bed is right against it. I checked on her. She's asleep, but she just laughed in her sleep, and she has never done that before. It's 4:11 now. The tapping didn't happen tonight. 4 o'clock came and went, nothing. At first I felt relieved, and then I realized what it means. It means he didn't need to knock anymore. I just checked her room again. The door is open.
The first gift showed up a year after my husband died. No one broke in, no one showed up on the cameras, and it was exactly what he would have bought me. That's when I made the worst mistake of my life. I opened it. My husband died a day before our 5th anniversary. He was at work when his chest started hurting, and before anyone could react, he collapsed, just like that. At 32, a week before his cardiologist appointment, he was gone. And I, at 31, became a widow overnight. Everything we had planned just disappeared. He wasn't just my husband, he was my best friend for 20 years, and suddenly I had to figure out what life even looked like without him. But life doesn't stop. Bills don't wait for grief. I gave some of his things back to his family, but I kept most of it. I even kept the anniversary gift I had bought for him. It was stupid, I know, but part of me felt like the more of him I held on to, the more likely it was he would somehow stay. Life kept moving forward while I didn't. Work, feeding the pets, pretending to watch TV, sleeping. People stopped feeling sorry for me after a while. My sadness became inconvenient. "Fucking Devin!" my son Konya suddenly screamed one evening. I froze. Tookie hadn't said his name since Devin died. Devin had taught him to swear. It used to be funny, but hearing it again like that made something twist in my chest. I asked him to repeat it, but he just chirped and went back to normal like nothing had happened. A few days passed. I tried to push it aside. What I couldn't ignore was the anniversary coming up. 1 year since he died. 1 year since everything ended. I took both days off. I sat on the couch holding his ashes, pressing the urn against my chest like I could somehow feel him again. I ordered his favourite burger, no pickles, and put on one of those old Godzilla movies we used to watch together. At some point, I fell asleep. I don't remember the dream, just the feeling, empty, like something had been hollowed out inside me. "Fucking Devin!" I woke up immediately. Tookie's cage wasn't fully covered, but he almost never made noise at night. The clock said 12:01. "Happy anniversary, Devin," I whispered. I got up to turn off the TV and put the urn back on the shelf under the lightsabers we built together on our 3rd anniversary. That's when I saw it, a small box and a note. I picked it up before I could think. It said, "Happy anniversary, Kiara," with a small drawing of a bird. I should have been scared, or angry, or at least confused. But instead, I felt happy. I checked the cameras. No one had come to the house. No movement, no shadows, nothing. The only other person with keys was my mum, and she would never do something like that. I went back to the box. Tookie was restless, so I let him out, and he climbed onto my shoulder like he always did. Inside was a paintbrush, the same one I had seen months ago at an art market and didn't buy because it was too expensive. No one knew about it, no one except me. For the first time since his death, I felt something close to happiness, so I painted. My hands moved like they remembered everything. The brush wasn't good, it dragged and left uneven streaks, but I didn't care. I painted all night. At some point, Tookie went back to his cage. I didn't even notice. When the sun came up, I felt lighter. Not healed, but lighter. I hung the painting over our bed, exactly where I had always promised I would. After that, things slowly got better. I started talking to friends again. I picked up painting. The pain was still there, but it wasn't suffocating me anymore. Then the gifts started coming again. At first, they were small. A blanket I had wanted for months, but it had a small tear near the edge. A hair stick, just slightly too sharp. A plush toy, missing its eyes. Each one was almost right. Almost. And every time a new one appeared, Tookie would panic, screaming his name, over and over. Fucking Devin! Fucking Devin! I tried to ignore the details, tried to pretend it was still him, until the night I opened the box that smelled wrong before I even touched it. Inside was a dead sun conure, rotting. I dropped it and screamed. I had once told Devin I wanted to get Tookie a companion, but this wasn't that. This was something else entirely. That night I threw everything away. Every gift, every trace of whatever had been coming into my house. My neighbours yelled at me to shut up, but I didn't stop. For a few weeks, nothing happened. Then Tookie started screaming again. I tried to ignore it this time, pretended I didn't hear him. But when I turned around, there was another box, bigger than the others. The note said, "Miss you." I opened it, and I wish I hadn't. Inside was Devon's head, smiling. Not just smiling, stretching wider than it should have. His eyes were open, locked onto mine, and when I stepped back, they followed me. Then he blinked. I don't remember what I did after that. I just know I got rid of everything. Not just the gifts, everything that belonged to him. When I reached the closet, I found the gift I had bought for our anniversary, the one I never got to give him. So I wrapped it, placed it next to his urn, and wrote a note. It's time to let go. I didn't sleep that night, but by morning, it was gone. After that, the gifts stopped. Tookie stopped saying his name. The house felt empty again. I've been trying to move on. It still hurts. It probably always will. But I'm not stuck anymore. The only thing I kept is Tookie. I couldn't get rid of him. Our 7th anniversary is coming up soon, and I just hope this time he doesn't bring anything back.
If this story gave you chills, don't forget to subscribe, because the next one might be even worse.